Happy New Year, everybody. I know it's late. I haven't posted in a little while, and that will probably continue for the near short term. Last year, I denoted to myself that 2025 would be more of a year of servitude and silence. And as such, I don't have a lot to vocalize publicly. But there's a lot that's been going on out here in the desert, and I thought I'd create a video and share this because you're going to see some things on the channel start to crop up, and I wanted to kind of explain what's going on. So the whole point of this video is to talk about modern day knights, and then more specifically something called the Order of the Rose Cross. Now, as I have talked about in videos past, so unless you're new, most of you know, last year I was brought into the Masonic orders of the Hospitalier Malta and the Knights Templar. And over the past weekend, I was inducted into the Templar Collegia. And so, obviously, knighthood for me is an important thing. It was one of my goals, and it has been a goal for most of my life. It has just only been in the last 2 or 3 years that things have aligned themselves in my life to focus on what's important. And having studied esotericism for a very long time, I can get kind of frustrated at times because you run into a wall where books will only lead you so far. And self-study only leads you so far. Or at least to me, at least for a lot of people, that is the case. Honestly don't know any true masters who did it all on their own without any guidance or help from someone else. I know a lot of people who claim that they have gotten everything that they need from reading by themselves, but I am a doubter to their actual capabilities. I know I'm definitely a doubter of my own from just reading. So I spent the last weekend amongst people who made me look like an educated idiot. And it was a humbling experience, and it was a good experience. And it fits right into my year where I want to be, it's humility, servitude, and silence. Serve in silence, serve without needing recognized. I'm trying to do this in lodge as well, in my participation in the lodge, in the line, and as well as doing lectures. I enjoy learning lectures. I enjoy giving them, but I don't want to feel like that's like a thing for my ego. Because ultimately, staring back at you in the mirror is your worst enemy. And that's what I'm trying to overcome, in this year, put the energy in. So I'd already started that last year. And so, after being inducted into the Collegia, that's one of your primary tasks. So everything just kind of fits like puzzle pieces. Nothing's by accident, and everything happens when it's supposed to happen. So all that fit perfectly. Now, we have a study group here that meets. It's a research group. And a lot of us are from, the same lodge. Some of us are not. We've got people that are Rosicrucians involved, and we have people who are unaffiliated with anything, and they just come together and we talk about things. And we've done a lot as a little group. We've covered a lot of stuff. But one of the things that I want to be is more useful. I want actual more practical application to the things that you're talking about. Because just studying it intellectually it's not doing anything other than to put it in your brain. You have to actually practice some of this stuff, or you actually have to, do things, be useful. As a Templar, as a Masonic Templar, we do a lot of charity work, and charity work's great. And we do parades and we do funerals and we do other ceremonial type things, and I really, really enjoy those things. But part of also wanting to be a Templar is to be able to explore the world, do research into things that have been lost, and fulfill those vows that you take as a knight, to root out tyranny and be the shield for the weak and all of those romantic things. But those mean, I know to a lot of people, those mean more than just romantic words, that is our purpose. And so all of this kind of formulated into an idea to create an informal group called the Order of the Rose Cross. Now, shocking as it may be, I did not invent, nor did this group invent that order's name. There are many orders of the Rose Cross. There are brotherhoods of the Rosy Cross, stretching back hundreds of years. And I'm not more, it's more of a, why am I going to try to create something new or be a part of something new? Why don't we just fit into something that we are already studying, that we already are? And so the Order of the Rose Cross idea showed up. And so I just want to talk a little bit about that and some of the things you're going to start seeing on the channel here over the next few weeks. For one, the Order of the Rose Cross is an informal order of men and women who are interested in Hermeticism or learning, esoterics, but also who are willing to practice the virtues and values of knighthood in the modern day. We're going to go over what those are. What are the virtues of modern day knighthood? Obviously, we're not riding around on horses, wearing armor, and going to war. That's the romantic ideal of what the knight was back in the Crusades. But as times have changed, the core principles of being a knight have not. So this is open to anyone. So if this is something that interests you, no man or woman can tell you you cannot be one. It is here. It's located here in your heart. You are one because by virtue of your heart. We are going to be not just passively studying esoteric theory, but we're going to be using practical applications as well. And it's encouraged that the members within this group are members of other esoteric-like orders. And there are many you can choose. You could be Freemasons. You can get in the Freemasonry. You can get into York Rite and Scottish Rite. You can be in the Order of the Eastern Star, Amaranth. You can be a Shriner. Okay, those are all Freemasonic, but there's also like the Rosicrucian studies as well. So there's like Amorc, and there's the Builders of the Adytum, and there's the Fraternity of the Hidden Light. There are all kinds of different orders that you can look into, the Martinists. You can also follow the path of the Knight. So, as a Mason, you can get into like the Knights Templar. You can also look into the Collegia, the Templar Collegia. Now in Phoenix, we have a new priory. So if you want contact information to the commander of our priory, I'm happy to send your message his way, if that's something that interests you. But the Collegia Templars have priories around the world. And it's an amazing group of men and women, and their mission. I encourage it. I encourage you to at least look into it. We're going to be looking at like the Rosicrucian tenets that have been laid down for hundreds of years, and we're going to align ourselves in that way. We're going to look at the healing arts. We're going to look at, being protectors or sentinels against the things that divide humanity today, of which there are a great many. You turn on your TV, or your news, or your social media feed, particularly your social media feed, and there's no lack of division blowing out of your screen loudly. So this is, if this is something that you're interested in, you cannot contribute to that, or you have to do your very best not to be contributing to division, but to unity. Custodians of ancient knowledge, the mystery schools, the mystery school teachings, to explore the existence of the Rosicrucian ideals of to know, to will, to dare, and to keep silent. Looking into things like alchemy, astrology, material and metaphysical versions of either, the Hermetic Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, and the Tarot and how those work into each other. Natural earth paths, such as Druidry. exploring the unknown, and unifying the dualism of the world, the light and the dark. Those are the realms that we delve into and we look into. So what does a modern day knight do? Essentially, to become a part of this, we do a little knighting ceremony. If you're a knight, you can knight another knight, essentially. Again, it's an informal group, which means there's no formal set of ranks and structures. It's loose, like the Rosicrucians. It's loose. You can be anywhere. But these are the tenets that constitute a Knight of the Rose Cross. It's called the Tenfold Path. And I'm going to read them to you now. These are things that should resonate with you if this is something that interests you. To do my part to bring unity, not division, to mankind, and upload personal and professional integrity in everything that I do. To stay true to my word and to be honest in all my dealings. Tenet 2, to cultivate wisdom, strive for lifelong learning, self-improvement, and understanding of the world, both material and spiritual, and to make informed, thoughtful decisions. Number 3, to grow and expand my limits through understanding, and to dedicate myself to causes that benefit the community, humanity, and the planet beyond my own personal gain. Number 4, to practice compassion and show empathy, kindness, and fair dealing to all despite their status, beliefs, or background, or political party. Number 5, to seek fairness and equity in all actions, to wield justice's blade tempered by wisdom and mercy without malice, and with the recognition that the scales must be balanced in all aspects of creation, both material and spiritual. Number 6, to see the beauty in all things, treat all people with dignity, value their perspectives, even those that I am opposed to, and to avoid prejudice or discrimination. Number 7, to maintain control of my emotions, practice discipline and self-control in my thoughts, words, and actions, and to strive for excellence and victory in all of my pursuits. Number 8, to face all challenges with bravery, determination, reason, even in the face of fear, uncertainty, and irrationality. Number 9, to lead by example and be a role model of integrity, virtue, service, and reason, inspiring others to follow noble paths which will lead them to a foundation of greatness. And number 10, to be the shield for those that cannot defend themselves, stand against oppression and tyranny, injustice and cruelty in this material kingdom, as well as any other plane to which my sword and shield may be present. Now, some of those, you're always going to get the kickback question of, if you're trying for humility, then how can you lead by integrity, virtue, service? People think that you're virtue signaling when you say that. And in a way, you kind of are virtue signaling. You're saying, these are the virtues that I want to embody, and these are the virtues that I want to impress upon others, in my opinion. This takes us to the teachings of the order, what our group is going to be doing. I'm not one for reinventing something that's already been done so many times. And while I've been a student most of my life in this area, I know I'm far from being anywhere near an adept. So I have laid out and will organize a curriculum. It's based on the Golden Dawn's teachings and their grades. So you start off as a neophyte and everything that they had to do as a neophyte, and then you move to the first grade degree. You can do everything they had to do as a first degree. This provides structure. And everything I'm pulling, just so you know, I always say this in all my videos. I am not a guru. I do not have all the answers. I'm saying that right now. I have a whole lot to learn. Again, I just spent a weekend, and I realized just how much more I need to learn myself. But what I am good at is organization and structuring. And this provides a structure for us to progress. And you can take however long you feel like taking. Like this is voluntary. No one's going to make you do anything. But you will, if you wish to advance, there's tests, and you have to take those tests, and you have to pass those tests. And everything I'm doing is published material. Anyone can read and obtain. So I don't have like my teachings are not coming from like the secret chiefs and all that stuff. Like it's all open. You can get it if you want. I'm just structuring it. Really is what that's what I'm doing here. I'm structuring it. So what that means is there are knowledge lectures in each of the degrees. So what we're going to be doing on the 1st of February is a group of us are going to be meeting, and we're going to do a guided meditation on the neophyte degree. And then we are going to do a knighting ceremony, just a very informal thing. And after that, you will see on this channel, I will be doing knowledge lectures. And that is because people can't meet. We can't meet regularly. And there's like 6 knowledge lectures that compose just the neophyte degree. So I want to provide the ability for people to go to YouTube or whatever, pull those degrees, the lectures, and view them whenever they want. So I'll be assembling the knowledge lectures for the neophyte grade over the next few days and weeks. And so you'll see those, everyone here is going to see those. It's going to be, this is the lecture, the knowledge lecture, number 1 of the neophyte grade, which deals with elements. So anyone can follow along, and you're free to. But towards the end, they will take tests, and that's how they can advance themselves. I will say in my own personal experience that just passing the neophyte grade alone puts you you are more knowledgeable than about 4 out of 5 people who I know who study esotericism at that point. And this is why I'm going with the Golden Dawn as the structure, because if you follow the program, there's a lot of stuff to learn. And as you get through the entire initiate grades, you have a fairly moderate understanding of most of the foundation of esoteric teachings. You won't be an expert in anything, but you're going to be very knowledgeable overall. And after that's where you pick your, what you really like to get into, so to speak. It's informal, as I've mentioned before. And what that informality means that this is a round table. There's no ranks in this order. Everyone's equal. So your voice is just as equal as my voice, is just as equal as anyone. It doesn't matter what you do outside of here, outside of the order. It doesn't matter what your ranking might be in Freemasons. You could be the Grand Master of the state. It doesn't matter. You're here. You're just another person who contributes. And so that's very important to me. And why that's very important is a lot of orders fall apart because of politics, and I don't want any of that. And the point of doing all of this is definitely not to have ranks and just be like, well, this person's the Grand Master or the Master. No, we're not doing that. And that's not to say that that's bad or wrong. There are, of course, plenty of different orders that have all those things. I'm a part of many. And I respect those offices. But for anything small or informal like this, I don't want any of that involved. I just want to focus on learning and sharing ideas. Really is the goal. So we do have some of the members want to do ritual stuff. I don't know if we're going to do any of that. We'll see. We need a place and all that to do that. But let's see. We talked about hierarchy. So the neophyte degree work, if you're interested, what you would have to do to advance to the first degree. So as a neophyte, you're not anything. You're all like on the outer part of the porch. So you have to do the following. You're going to have gone through all of the knowledge lectures of the neophyte. And if you go through all the knowledge lectures of the neophyte, you should be able to do the tests, I think, plus the recommended readings. You're going to have to recognize and memorize the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. That's probably the hardest part. That was, for me anyway, the hardest part of going through the neophyte grade was the Hebrew part, because I obviously don't speak Hebrew. It's very important for any esoteric to understand and know Hebrew. You should, and I'm not saying you have to be fluent in it, but you should be able to recognize it and be able to do some basic work in it. Greek, Latin, those 3, you're going to see a lot of. They call those the 3 languages they call those the language of science, which is Latin. A lot of the 1600s, 1700s, 1500s era texts are in Latin, and they're scientific. So Knowing how that works is important. The language of philosophy is Greek. And a lot of the biblical texts are in Greek, and just by reading English translations, you are assuming that the person is translating properly and correctly, and that you're getting the actual information, which is, to me, it's you can pull a book and get 3 different translations of it in front of you, and they're going to be a little bit different. So knowing Greek in that regard, that's why it's important. And then Hebrew, the language of initiation. Some also call it. Some also say Arabic. Understanding the Arabic language is also the language of initiation. But Hebrew text, it's the same thing. So anyhow, with the Hebrew, you have to understand. You're going to be expected to be able to draw them out, so you can write them all the letters out, say their names, what sounds they are. Provide the numerical values of both their normal value, and then 5 letters have final form, so being able to understand what their numeric value of the final form is and what that means, what the esoteric meaning of each letter is, and what major arcana tarot card is applied to each of those letters. That's the hardest part, in my opinion. After that, it's memorization of the 4 elements, their traits, and how to draw their sign. Memorization of the 12 astrological zodiac signs and what elements rule them, memorization of the 7 classic planetary symbols, memorization of the 10 Sephiroth of the Kabbalah in the Tree of Life, being able to basically say its name, what it means, and what number it's, what it is. You will have to memorize and perform a banishing rite, which will be the staple of everything you work through. And last, we are going to write a 2200, and that number is picked on purpose, 2200 word paper on a religious or esoteric order that is now extinct. And some examples, you could write about the mystery schools of Eleusis, I probably mispronounced that, the Cathars, the Bogomils, the Gnostics, Neoplatonists, etc. There are there's a host of different orders you can pull up, and just the point of that is to be part of this education as scholars is to understand the things that were around you. And all of these are going to be collected into a work. So we will have, 2025's research work. It'll be a body of work that you can access. Everyone else's, the work that they put in. Upon completion of that, we do a first degree for you, and you get your black cape, basically black cloak. If you want to wear it, you don't have to, but black is the first color in alchemy that we progress through, and you would be considered an initiate at that point. And initiates is just that you're going to be learning the foundational principles of everything around you at a moderate level, not a shallow, but a moderate level. And we do write papers, so we'll be exploring. There's going to be things like reading a classical philosophical work from Plato. Maybe you'll get to pick. You get to pick a lot of the stuff you want to do, but it's expanding beyond the normal things that you normally do. Learning some geometry, learning some of the classic 7 liberal arts. These are going to be very important things here. All of these are to build a strong foundation for you to progress yourself. All voluntary. You don't have to do any of this, but again, you're going to start to see some of this on this channel. So we're going to have a lot more academic type discussions. So, again, if that's something that interests you, I've got a little document to begin us. And on February 1st, a bunch of us will be doing this. We'll be meeting. So we do meet in the desert valley. So thanks for watching, kind of getting caught up on what we've been doing. Order of the Rose Cross. That's been where my mind's been, setting this up and progressing as a group. It's been an amazing last few weeks for me. Everything happens for a reason. You are where you're supposed to be for a reason. I firmly believe that. And moving through this life, what inspires us is simply, or what inspires me, is that I've never felt like I've belonged in this world. I just have never fit in very well, and a lot of that is just simply the things that I value are not what the world values, and it's stark contrast. The heavy materialism, the transactional relationships, the using people to get what you can get out of them, I can't do that. And so I think now, and it's very cliche to say this, but now more than ever, but I do think now more than ever that we are so unbalanced towards the materialistic end of things that I have to question: is it not intentional for us to be in this predicament in the first place? I could probably lecture on my thoughts on that in a different video. But being that light, or it's important to be those points of light to help counteract some of that. Because I don't think that that is not why we're here. We're not here to chase things and use people for our own gain. That's not why we were put here. So that's what inspires me to want to do things like this and to have people come together. And the other thing is simply when you get people with multiple perspectives together who can tolerate differences, that's huge. You learn something. Everyone learns something. Everyone benefits, and you grow stronger and you unify that way. So that's why I do this. That's why I'm putting this video out, and that's why this is the path that I walk. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave them below. If you want to subscribe, you'll get to catch some of the knowledge lectures coming out. And we have a Discord as well. Again, if you are interested in the priory for the Collegia Templars, I can get you the contact information of our commander, and he will do what he does to set that up. I can't give any more information beyond that. Other than that, thank you guys. I hope that New Year is going well for you. I wish you much love and luck and grace in this coming year. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon.